You know what? It's a lot. It's a lot trying to just survive on noodles every day. Every day is just noodles. No way. It's like, hello, my name is Lesedi Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, hello. If you're a long-time subscriber that just happens to be returning, thank you so much for coming back. Your support means the world to me. In today's video, we're going to be talking about lessons that I've learned as an entrepreneur so far in my journey. So just for a little bit of background, I started my entrepreneurship journey in September 2019, and I was very mindful to make sure that I do not make some of these mistakes, some of which I will confess I have made, but some I made sure to stay entirely away from. Mistake number one is not having enough runway. Now, I know you might be wondering or asking yourself, what does that even mean? A runway is your financial backing that allows you not to stress too much about certain living expenses just as you're starting out, so that you're allowing your business enough time to start making you profits. To assume that you're going to start today and you'll be able to pay rent month end is a little bit immature, especially if you're just basing that on assumptions. It's always best just to make sure that you have a little bit of cushioning so that you're not financially stressed and you're not dealing too much with anxiety. Because another thing when it comes to stress and anxiety is that it does affect your level of creativity as well. And when you're going into business and you're still starting out, that is going to be your biggest asset, linked to obviously your time and having resources such as connection to the internet or money or the ability to be able to move from point A to point B. So your financial runway plays a big role. And if you were to ask me how much should you save, I would say it depends on how much makes you sleep better at night. Some people only save for 3 months, some people save for 6, for 9, or up to a year, just so that they're not worried within that particular first year or that first 3, 6, or 9 months when it comes to making rent, buying food, and being able to actually live. Because the idea that one will live and survive on noodles alone, you know what? It's a lot. It's a lot trying to just survive on noodles every day. Every day is just noodles. No way. It's like, you need to be able to feel good, you need to be able to put in the work, but you also need to make sure that you are nourishing yourself so that your brain is working at its optimal. So nutrition plays a big key role in this as well. Yes, you will have your noodle days, but I don't think your noodle days should be every day. So important. So many entrepreneurs start out and they think that overnight they're just going to meet their success. So you want to be able to avoid these, and like I said, I will share where I've made certain mistakes and some of the mistakes that I've been able to avoid. Luckily for this first point, I did make sure that I had a runway to be able to help me in the first couple of months of being an entrepreneur. Mistake number 2 that a lot of entrepreneurs make, that I also made myself, is either hiring too soon or scaling too soon. And I'll explain and elaborate as to what that even means. Like I said, I started my business in September 2019, right? I worked from home for about a month, and in October I decided, you know what, this whole thing of working from home is honestly not for me at all. And it's so ridiculous because right now we're basically almost all working from home, but at that particular time I just felt like working from home was not for me. It was still sort of like a new concept, or not as big as it is now. I wanted to be surrounded by other entrepreneurs, living alone, working from home, and not seeing a single human being all day. It just did not seem natural for me to be able to go on that for days on end. I thrive in a community setting, so I knew that being surrounded by other people would do me more good than harm. So what I did is I got co-working spaces that are obviously more rent friendly versus getting a private office, and I knew that by being able to have the flexibility to go to that and sometimes work from home would allow me to work at my optimum without worrying too much about the overheads. In case you don't know, I run a digital marketing agency that I initially started in 2016 as a side hustle doing social media management, and then in 2019 September I then went full-time into entrepreneurship. Now, like I said, getting an office or hiring staff is not a bad idea at all, but this is where things get tricky, and that is why it's important not to scale too soon. Remember I said I started my business September 2019? What happened in the new year? 3 months into 2020, things changed. Life as we knew it changed because no one knew how long this was going to last. If you're watching this in real time, you know we're still sort of all working from home. It's still quarantine, so it's always best just to have as many reserves as possible so that you don't find yourself in a situation where you're trying to make ends meet, because obviously that is, like again I said, quite stressful. Lesson number 3 that I learned as an entrepreneur is that it's very important to live poor or act poor in order to be rich. Too many people upgrade their lifestyles almost instantly as an entrepreneur. First time you close a very big deal, someone instantly is looking at cars to upgrade to, or they're looking to move to a more expensive neighborhood. And I understand sometimes where that comes from, wanting to be seen in a particular way, because we cannot lie and we cannot deny the fact that people perceive us differently when we have certain things or when we come across in a particular way, and that is all just perception. But the biggest mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make is buying into that perception and putting on a facade before they even arrive to that particular point. There's absolutely nothing wrong with living in the neighborhood you've always wanted to live in or driving your dream car, but doing those things too soon on in your journey can do you more harm than good. So don't tell people how much you make, because people start budgeting and having plans for you or your money and trying to think that somehow it belongs to them too. The truth of the matter is lifestyle inflation is a real thing. Tip number 5, you're going to need to get comfortable with the concept of selling. What that means is, so many people go into business because they like the image of it, they like the benefits of it, but they don't realize how much work they're going to need to do early on in their journey, because ultimately people will only believe in your business if they see that you believe in your own business. You need to be able to explain to us as to why we should choose you versus your competitor. You should be able to do that with confidence, with ease, and without having to flicker or doubt. And you can do a lot of practice behind the scenes, to make sure that when you do go to networking events, you know what you're talking about. You've got some sort of like a elevator pitch and you're able to sell your business with confidence. There's nothing wrong with shamelessly promoting your business. You can use your digital platforms for this, so your social media, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, or even your LinkedIn. Or if you have a YouTube channel, that is also a great platform again to not only just sell. Obviously there's different ways of going about it. You can either decide to entertain people depending on what space of business you're in, or educate them as to what your business does, what your services are, what's the importance of your services, or what products you provide, and how those products can bring them ease, or how those products can help and benefit their lives. Number 6, it's so important to be able to plan long term. So many people, like I said, start a business, they've got a business plan, they've set up projections as to how they think things are going to develop or unfold, and oftentimes they write that and they put it aside once they've started business, and they hardly ever go back to look at it. Because the truth is, before you get into business, your perception of what it's going to be like versus when you're into it is two completely different playgrounds. So it's important to keep going back and keep adjusting and reworking certain things and re-strategizing, ultimately to help you get to your long-term goals. Last but not least, you need to have grit. Grit, resilience, perseverance, whatever word you want to use in this particular scenario, you are going to need to know your why. You need to be able to have something that pushes you outside of your comfort zone. It is not easy. You need to have passion for what you do, because after you've done what you think is enough, you need to still be able to go that extra mile. And sometimes the only thing that will help you push the envelope or helps you to get over the edge or help you to, move the needle is you being passionate and driven and fired up by what it is that you're doing. The truth is, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. If the idea of being part of a system or having some form of structure or routine brings you ease or makes you feel more comfortable, then that's for you. That's absolutely fine. The 9 to 5 or corporate might be for you. But if you're someone that thrives on, you know, innovation, or thrives on, you know, coming up with new concepts, or no 2 days ever being the same, someone who loves adventure, who loves solving problems and thinking outside the box, then entrepreneurship might be for you. But don't be misled. It is not easy at all. I'm still learning on my journey, and I'll keep sharing. Like I've said, this channel is not just about sharing beautiful and fun things such as, you know, lifestyle vlogs or talking about branding. I actually want to share with you my entrepreneurship journey, and I'm hoping that you'll pick up a thing or two from this journey. I don't want to wait 10 years from now. You know, I want to be able to share as I go through things so that you can learn and apply accordingly. That's it from me today. I hope that you found this video very helpful and insightful. If you're kind enough, let me know in the comments section what stood out the most to you as to the biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make throughout their journey. I love responding to your comments, and I love having conversations that are not typical, not common, and us thinking outside the box. I've pre-selected 2 videos for you to choose from. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and choose between these 2. After you're done with this one, I promise you they will add value to your life, because if you enjoyed this one, you'll definitely enjoy one of these 2. Until next time, bye.